Hey, welcome back, everyone. It is me, Mr. 4K Upscaler. So, you guys asked for some more Aquaman. Let's test the Aquaman on Samsung Q8FN Qled. And I'll admit, I'll say it, this movie will look great on any of your 4K televisions. And my preference, as you all know, it's the OLED. But I have to admit, I have to be honest because I have these televisions, and this is why you guys come here on my channel to give you a consumer independent, unbiased look at things. Having that higher peak brightness, 1500 nits, and that amazing color gamut, yes, you will benefit with this movie. The one downside is that you can only get HDR. You cannot get Dolby Vision through the Samsung. And this is my only gripe that I have with Samsung is the Dolby Vision on 1500 nits or even higher nits of peak of brightness that they have on 90s, what was it, Q90 series 2019. Dolby Vision would look fantastic, and this movie would look just mind blowing with that peak brightness and color gamut and local dimming that they have. But having this peak brightness on the Aquaman 1500 nits for this HDR and the color gamut truly shows up here. But I'm going to show you a next scene. Next scene I'm going to show you here. This video, it's in 4K. Sorry about my microphone. The next scene I'm going to show you, I think will knock your socks off. So I'm going to show you that right now. So hang in there. Let me show it to you. Like this scene right here when they're training on this beach right here off of coast of I'm not sure where. It doesn't matter. And when they're training here, this particular scene in IMAX with HDR on this television really pops, man. It really brings the color and everything, the contrast. It just looks pristine. Like that's the word I'm trying to use. It looks pristine. But let me go through some other scenes. Like this is not maybe the greatest example. Let's go to probably one of the greatest examples or on where this movie truly shines. Like this scene here, for example, looks so three-dimensional. I mean, everything looks as if the characters are like popping out of the screen. Uh, like these sea troopers, as I like to call them, sea troopers, not as stormtroopers, but sea troopers to me. I mean, they look as if they're like coming out of the screen. Everything has a depth of distance on this quality on this picture. And James Wong, he did a fantastic job on this movie. I mean, the cameras that he's using, the color, principal photography, everything just looks magnificent. The locations, the way he uses the wide shots, not too much of the close-ups, but much more of a wide shots to get as much as he can on the IMAX, looks fantastic. Believe me, guys, it's going to be kind of difficult to see this through a. It's going to be impossible for you to see this through a video. This is something like you really have to see in person. But if you have a 65-inch, let's say Q8FN, or 75-inch Q8FN, oh my God! Or if you have a 65-inch Q9, oh, you're going to be just buy this movie with a TV. Buy this movie with a TV, and you're going to be just simply blown away. Even at Magnolia, guess what movie are they playing? They always play this movie as a demo. When they want to sell the TV, this is the demo they're playing. They're playing the Aquaman. First of all, it's a great movie. I like the movie. I like the story. It just so happens to look really freaking awesome. Better than the Michael Bay Transformers The Last Night. Way better. Trust me. I know, but you guys would like to know, well, what settings, Mr. 4K? What settings are you using? I'll get to the settings in a minute. I want to show you some more stills, and I'll get to the settings in a minute. Okay, I'm going to play a scene here really quick just so you guys can see what I'm talking about, just how beautiful this looks, man. This looks stunning. When you see this in person, it just looks super, super stunning. And you guys going to be blown away when you see this in person. It is like Avatar, man. In some ways, better than Avatar. I mean, dare me say that. Spoilers warning, guys. Spoilers warning. Stop the video. Spoilers warning. Spoilers. Spoilers. Stop the video. Stop the video. Okay, now you know. Now you know. Nicole Kidman, well, his mother, the queen. All right, so let me show you my settings. This next segment, I want to show you the settings that I'm using for the Samsung Q8FN. This is a 55-inch QLED. All right, so let's get back to my settings here. I want to show you my settings really quick. All right, so let's dive right into it, shall we? All right, I'm using a dynamic picture settings here. Why? For this movie, for this specific movie, I like to squeeze as much of that peak brightness as I can. So I'm using a dynamic picture settings. Backlit at 50, brightness at 0, and contrast at 50. Remember, for the HDR, you need to have it like this. Whenever you're running in HDR, you got to have backlit at 50 and contrast at 50 and brightness at balanced 0. Sharpness at 10. Keep an eye on these settings. If you look at these settings, you're going to notice that I'm really trying to keep everything balanced. Sharpness is not going over the limit. Color is not going over saturating limit. Backlit contrast where it needs to be. Brightness staying there in the middle. Of course, backlit contrast due to the HDR needs to be set at maximum. So everything is kind of balanced. Now, let me show you the important part. The important part is the local dimming. You need to have the local dimming set to high. And a contrast enhancer, you need to keep it at low. And I'll show you why you want this at low. If you go too high, it's almost like clipping the white digital levels. So keep it at low. You got more than enough peak brightness here. So keep it at low. And the color tone, you guys know me. I like to keep it at standard. I like to keep it because this movie will benefit from having that balanced standard tone of color. If you go cool, if you go yellow, it's just going to look too cool, too blue. And if you go yellow, it's going to look too yellow. So I like to keep it in the middle, in the standard. This is my honest preference. Remember, this is my preference. This is what my preference is for this television, for this movie. And the color space, I keep it at native. So that's pretty much what I'm using. And it really looks amazing, man. When you see this on on your screens, when you see this in person, you cannot judge this through a video, through a camera. The only way you can judge this, it's you seeing this in person. And that's why I'm giving you these settings, because I want you guys to utilize these settings and then try them out for yourself. And let me know what you guys think. Like even here, look at this scene. This is at the very end. Spoilers warning. Look at that contrast. Look just how bright that is on this television, man. It just looks amazing. The HDR, I mean, I'm blown away by the HDR on this film. Especially this scene. I love this scene, like right here. This is like my perfect shot right here of this scene. I love it, dude. Especially right here. Keep an eye right here. Just look at that peak brightness here. Just look how beautiful that all looks. So listen, this movie will look great on all of your televisions. But if you have QLED, if you have OLED, you are going to benefit from this movie. And especially if you have QLED, man. If you got a Q9FN or Q8FN, oh, dude. Or if you have the newest Q90, brother, pick this movie up immediately. Pick it up immediately and just drool yourself. Have your jaws drop down and drool throughout the entire movie. And there's a lot of IMAX scenes in this movie. Definitely, I think this is the best showcase demo for any 4K HDR TV out there. Well, there you go. Drool on this, enjoy it, and I got another video coming. I'll see you later, guys. Take care.